On this video, we're going to tell you all about the top 10 highest ranked cities in North Carolina. Hello everyone, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker with eXp Realty in Raleigh, North Carolina. And as we said, we're going to rank the top 10 best cities in North Carolina. And just a hint, a lot of them are in the Raleigh Triangle area. And we should let you know this list is courtesy of our friends at niche.com. Let's start with the number 10 city, which is Clemmons, North Carolina. Clemmons is a suburb of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has a population of about 22,000 people. It's about 15 minutes from Winston-Salem, and niche.com gives Clemmons an overall rating for the city of an A+. Public schools in Clemmons get an A. Housing in Clemmons gets an A-. And the median home price for a home in Clemmons is $345,000. Median household income in Clemmons comes in at $75,000. So Clemmons doesn't have a whole lot going on in the city proper, but what it does have going for it is that it is really, really close to Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem has lots of shopping, lots of things to do, has a really amazing Old Salem historic area that we recommend everyone go to. Definitely worth your time. So because of that, Clemmons definitely comes in on the top 10 list. And by the way, niche.com rates Clemmons the number 1 place to live in the Triad region of North Carolina. Next up, in the number 9 slot, we have Holly Springs, North Carolina. Holly Springs is a community very close to Raleigh with a population of around 45,000 people. Holly Springs is about 25 to 30 minutes from downtown Raleigh, and niche.com gives the town an overall rating of A+. Public schools in Holly Springs get an A with niche.com, and housing gets an A-. Median home price currently in Holly Springs comes in at $580,000. Median household income comes in at $111,000. So we've done a video about Holly Springs by itself recently. We recommend you guys check that out. It is a really, really nice town, but it's pretty much what you would call a new suburb in that it was really, really small just a few years ago, and it's really grown rapidly. Lots of people have moved to Holly Springs because of the quality of life and the location, the proximity to Cary and Raleigh. So it's really, really cool, but it suffers in that it doesn't really have an amazing downtown that kind of grew up over the years and years and years. It's pretty much a new downtown, but people that live there absolutely love it, and that's why it ranks so high on this list. Next up, in the number 8 slot, we have Weddington, North Carolina. And having lived in North Carolina my entire life, I have never heard of Weddington. It's a suburb outside of Charlotte, has a population of only 14,000 people, and it is about 30 minutes from downtown Charlotte. Weddington gets an overall rating on niche.com of A+. Public schools get an A, and housing gets an A- on niche.com. Median home price for a home in Weddington right now is in the range of about $480,000. And median income comes in at $176,000. So Weddington is a small town to the southeast of Charlotte, and it comes in as the 3rd wealthiest city in the entire state. Shocked that I have never heard of Weddington before, but just looking at some of the real estate in this town, it's really, really a nice town, great location. Apparently, according to Niche, the schools are fantastic, and it comes in as the number 2 best place to live in Union County, according to Niche. Next up in this number 7 slot is another town near Charlotte, Marvin, North Carolina. Marvin has a population of only 6,700 people and is about 30 minutes outside of Charlotte. Marvin gets an overall rating on niche.com of A+. Public schools in Marvin get an A+, and housing in Marvin gets an A. Median home price in Marvin is $975,000 with a median household income of $210,000. Clearly, Marvin has a really suburban feel and clearly a rich suburban feel. It comes in as the #1 place to live in Union County. Next up in the number 6 slot, we have Carrboro, North Carolina. Carrboro is a suburb, part of the Chapel Hill, Durham metropolitan area. It's about 30 minutes away from downtown Durham and about a minute and a half away from downtown Chapel Hill. As we've said in the Chapel Hill Carrboro video we just did a little while ago, they're pretty much attached at the hip. You can't tell when you've left Carrboro and headed into Chapel Hill and vice versa. Carrboro gets an overall rating on niche.com of A+. Housing in Carrboro gets a C+, and public schools get an A+ on niche.com. The median home price for a home in Carrboro currently stands at around $441,000, and the median household income is coming in at $68,000. So the best way to describe Carrboro is it sort of has an urban, suburban kind of mix about it. Lots of restaurants and shops, sort of the smaller sister to Chapel Hill. Really, really kind of funky and neat place to go visit, neat place to live. Next up in the number 5 slot is Davidson, North Carolina. Davidson is another suburb of Charlotte with a population of around 13,000 people. Davidson's about 30 minutes from downtown Charlotte and is most well known for being the home of Davidson College, which is a very, very prominent, very difficult to get into small liberal arts college. Davidson gets an overall rating on niche.com of A+. Housing gets a rating of A+, and public schools gets an A. Median home price currently sits at $600,000 in Davidson, North Carolina, while the median household income comes in at $131,000. So Davidson has a very college suburban feel, lots of shops, coffee shops, restaurants, that sort of thing. Again, completely dominated by Davidson College, but because it's so close to Charlotte, lots of people live in Davidson and work in Charlotte. Also, according to niche.com, Davidson is ranked the #1 best suburb around Charlotte. Next up in the number 4 slot, another Raleigh suburb, Apex. Apex, again, close to Raleigh, North Carolina, with a population of around 63,000 residents. It's about 20 minutes to downtown Raleigh, and niche.com gives Apex an overall rating of A+. Public schools in Apex get an A, and housing in Apex gets an A on niche.com as well. Median home price is currently sitting at around $580,000. The median household income in Apex, North Carolina is sitting around $111,000. So as we've said before in our Apex video, it's a very suburban town, very, very, very close to Cary. Lots of people live in Apex, work in Cary, or work in Research Triangle Park, or maybe work in downtown Raleigh. Lots of great shopping, lots of really cool restaurants, Apex Wings, and niche.com ranks Apex the #3 best place to raise a family in North Carolina. Next up in the number 3 slot is Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And you guessed it, Chapel Hill is part of the Chapel Hill, Durham metropolitan area. Chapel Hill has a current population of around 63,000 residents. Chapel Hill is about 38 minutes from downtown Raleigh and about 25 minutes to downtown Durham. Although you're very, very close, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the Streets at South Point part of Durham. Chapel Hill gets an overall rating on niche.com of A+. Public schools in Chapel Hill get an A+ as well, and housing gets a B-. Median home price in Chapel Hill currently is $610,000. Median household income in Chapel Hill is $123,000. And of course, as we said in our Chapel Hill video, Chapel Hill, the town, is dominated by the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It is the quintessential college town, very small village vibe to it, although it is growing and growing in the last few years. Those of us that went to UNC can barely recognize the town anymore. There's been so much growth going on. Very, very popular place to live, as evidenced by how high it ranks on this list. Definitely worth your time to go check out Chapel Hill. Great staycation, vacation kind of thing if you want to do that, or maybe somewhere you want to move and have a permanent vacation. Next up in the number 2 slot is Cary, North Carolina. Cary is a suburb of Raleigh and is in fact probably the quintessential suburb of Raleigh. Currently, 183,000 people live in Cary. And again, as I said, Cary is probably the quintessential suburb of Raleigh because it's so terribly close to Raleigh. Only 18 minutes to get from Cary to downtown Raleigh. Niche.com gives Cary an overall rating of A+. Public schools in Cary get an A, and housing in Cary also gets an A with Niche.com. Median home price is coming in at $570,000 currently, and median household income is coming in at $107,000 currently. Cary has a very suburban feel, and it is the ultimate bedroom community. It is, again, a place that a lot of people live that work in downtown Raleigh, Research Triangle Park, and in fact, Cary owes its growth to the birth and the growth that's happened in the Research Triangle Park area. And because it's really in the middle of the triangle, people can live in Cary and work just about anywhere in the area that they choose to work. Next up, in the number 1 slot, we have Morrisville, North Carolina. Morrisville is another suburb of Raleigh with about 32,000 people currently calling Morrisville home. Morrisville is about 20 minutes from downtown Raleigh, which makes it super convenient. Again, it is truly in the center of the triangle, as we've said in our Morrisville video, and that is truly one of the many things that's driving demand for people to live there, and it's getting reflected in surveys like this one. Morrisville gets an overall rating on Niche.com of A+. Public schools in Morrisville also get an A+. And housing in Morrisville gets an A. Median home price currently in Morrisville comes in at $525,000, and median household income comes in at $102,000. So again, as we've said in our Morrisville video and on this one, Morrisville is centrally located. That's what's driving a lot of the demand. Has a lot of really great things going for it. There's lots of green space, lots of parks, and did I mention it's centrally located? One of the things, unfortunately, it doesn't have going for it is it really doesn't have a true downtown like some of the other cities, mainly because for a while Morrisville was just a place where people went to work. There were no real houses there, but because growth has expanded out and out and out, and demand has increased more and more, the developers, the builders have decided Morrisville is a good place to build properties, build homes for people, and so build them and they shall come. Lots of people have moved into Morrisville. It's a great place to live. The only thing you got to be aware of is you are generally in the RDU airport flight path when you live in Morrisville. So that's the top 10 best ranked cities in North Carolina. If you're considering a move either into or out of North Carolina, my real estate team and I would love to be your agents of choice. You can call us on the number below, email us at hello@mortonbradbury.com, or click on the link in the description. We'll be happy to give you some help. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. And with that being said, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.